you joined, and I'm just going to real quick see a gallery view. All right, Wayne. All right, well, welcome everyone. And let me take that back to where I need it to be. Yeah, and we'll get started. So go ahead if you have water by you. It's good to have some water and take a little sip. Just eating that glass of water would be good. And we're going to get started seating in our chairs, and we sit in what's called seated mountain pose. I may have to change the angle of my camera. I taught a class before this one. Turn it down just slightly. All right. Okay. So when we are finding ourselves in mountain pose, also, I forgot to mention, if you want to have just some soft music in the background, you can. If you don't have any, that's fine. But just some soothing music is kind of nice. All right, so seated in mountain pose. You can't see my feet all the way down to there. I cut off my head or my feet, but my ankles are just underneath my knees, and we're sitting tall, and we'll relax our hands on our thighs. So typically I'll sit away from the back of the chair because I'm much less likely to slump and use the chair as support. If we're sitting away from the back of the chair, then we're using our abdominal muscles to sit up. So let's peek at the feet now. We do have the ankles under the knees, and I want us to see the toe next to the big toe. Those two toes are parallel to each other. Then the knees are in line with the hips, and then we have ears and shoulders over the hips. And this is just a really nice setup for the spine to be tall. This is just really nice for the spine, but also it helps us take a very deep, full breath. The more we're rounding forward, the more we clamp in on our diaphragm, our major breathing muscle that lives here under the ribs, and the muscles in between the ribs. So the more we sit up, the fuller breath we take. Why is that important? Well, breath is our vitality, right? Without it, we don't have our life. So we want to take those big full breaths, but also now this virus is a respiratory virus. And the articles that I'm reading are saying we want to make sure that the respiratory system, I don't know if that's Valerie switching that. Hang on, let me see if I can fix that. So because this is a respiratory virus, we want to make sure that we are keeping it top notch. I think that's Valerie. I'm sorry, do you all see that? Let me unmute everybody. Are y'all seeing this?
Mindy.
Yeah,
schedule?
I'm you
Mindy.
now. Not every.
Mindy,
Yes.
See a computer screen.
if you go to share screen, that's Susan Paley sharing her screen.
Oh, what do I do? I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. She can stop it. Just go up to the top,
Everybody.
and then view options. And then it should say stop sharing for this.
I'll see you.
You see me? Like the full picture of me?
No.
That's it.
Tiny.
One person can share at a time, multiple. Oh, Lord. I'm sorry. Oh, only host. There we
Okay,
go.
there you
There you
go.
go.
Hey.
Very good.
We're back on track.
Okay, so if everybody
You
will
gotta mute us all.
Sorry. Too many
I'll
things.
mute.
All right. Oh, Lord. Okay, now okay, we're good. We're muted, we're good. Okay, so again, the virus is a respiratory virus. So we want to make sure we're taking these full breaths. So again, what I've been reading is movement. Keep the respiratory system strong. So heaven forbid you should get this virus. You'll be much more able to fight it off with fewer symptoms if we have that nice, strong respiratory system. So setting ourselves up for success, tall posture means a bigger breath. Roll shoulders back and down. You can even close your eyes if you'd like to. But let's bring all of our awareness to the breath. Take a deep breath in, maybe count to 3 or 4 for the inhale. And then an exhale out for 3 or 4. Let's breathe in through the nose and exhale out of the mouth. So let's just begin to transition here from maybe the busyness of your morning to the flow of the class. Good. Hardly hear me. Oh, okay. No. Turn up the speaker on your computer. I have my microphone in, so that I think that's as loud as I get. So try turning up the speaker on your computer. And I'll speak louder. So deep breath in. Okay, exhale out. Good job. Full breath. So transitioning from the busyness of our morning to class. And I just want you to notice the effects that the breath has on our central nervous system. When we slow down the breath, we slow down the mind, and we slow down the whole central nervous system. So that's where we count. In for 4, exhaling out. So we can breathe in through the nose and out of the nose, or in the nose and out of the mouth. Sometimes that exhale out of the mouth is a little bit more releasing. So you might give that a try. Inhale and exhale. And as we breathe, notice which part of your body is moving. I know you'll feel that in your chest, but can you also feel your belly rise on the inhale and pull in and up on the exhale? Can you feel that in your rib cage as you breathe? How about in the middle back, your upper back? Can you use the whole torso for breath? Breathing in and out. Now grounding. Let's just check in to be sure you can feel your big toe on the floor, your little toe, and your heel. So we're just grounding into Mother Earth's energy. And we'll just take that energy up through our legs and lengthen all the way up through the crown of our head. Good. Now let's take a little bit of a stretch of the back of the neck. So let's tuck our chin now down toward our chest. And notice how far down the back you feel that. And then roll one ear over the shoulder, come back through center, and roll to the other side. And this is a gentle rolling. Good. Just continue to roll back and forth. And notice the tight areas, finding those nooks and crannies. You might even feel some tendons and movement, ligaments moving in there. That's perfectly normal for it to be tight. It's normal for it to make a crunching sensation and sound. Now let's come back through center, and then the right ear will rest over its shoulder. Left fingertips are going to reach as if we're trying to touch the floor with our fingertips. And then shake your arm a little bit. Let's get a little bit of traction. And then fingers start to make a little circle. So the whole arm circling forward. They don't have to be large circles, about 3 inches maybe in diameter, just going round and round forward. Beautiful job. Just let the ear fall heavily, and then take your little circles backwards. Nice. We want shoulders moving. We want neck stretching. Nice. And now from here, we're going to pause and open and close a fist. Spread those fingers nice and wide, and then hug the fist in. Reach toward the floor. One more time, give it a little wiggle shake, and then hand comes back to the thigh. Let's roll it through center, and then left ear comes over. Notice one side might be a little tighter than the other. We're just going to reach our fingertips down toward the floor. Try to touch the floor with the right hand, and then a little shake. It's a little traction. Nice. And then steady that, and we're going to take our circles forward again. Again, they don't have to be large. We just want to stretch into the neck, the shoulder. Take those circles forward. I'm going to make space. Space in the neck, space in the shoulder. Beautiful. Let's go backwards with that. Circle that around and around, backwards. Again, they don't have to be real large. Beautiful. And then we're just going to place our hand on our thigh and roll that through center. And shin is going to come parallel. Let's take our hands to our shoulders now, and shoulder rolls, elbows rolling backwards. Only backwards right now because we roll forward so much of our day. This just counterposes hunching, and it opens up our chest, strengthens our back muscles. A shoulder warm up. Good. And let's take this a few more times. Up, back and around. Got it. Okay. Now, take the arms and shake them out. Shake out the feet. We want to get our lymphatic system flowing, our circulatory system flowing, just get everything moving. Let's place our left hand on our thigh. The right hand will take the elbow up toward the ceiling and down toward our hip. Always moving in that pain-free range of motion. So if you need to make it a little smaller than I am, feel free. Notice what's happening under your hand. If it's clicking and popping. If there's any burning, sharp sensation, make it smaller. Beautiful. Now let's take that over to the left side. And just notice, how is this shoulder rolling and moving versus the other. Checking in with our range of motion. Releasing synovial fluid. Good. Now we're going to take this from a lift and lower into a shoulder roll, but that's singularly. So let's just stay with that right side and roll that ball and socket joint around. Notice how it's feeling when we take it backwards. Again, you can make it smaller or even skip it if it's just not feeling good, if we have rotator cuff issues. Now, other side. We have connective tissue underneath our skin, and sometimes it bunches up, especially if you sleep on one side for hours at a time. And if we're not able to get in here and move like this and break it up, it gets kind of bunched up, and then we're limited in our range of motion. So we want to free some of that up. Good job. All right, now we're going to take this right shoulder and crisscross it and lift the left knee. So we're going to add on a little shoulder work with a little hip work. So can we crisscross almost like we're taking a crunch with the sit-up, but we want to keep our spines nice and straight. So we're not going to round our back. I just want you to see, can you take your elbow across the body and lift the knee without rounding your back? Good. Now we're going to take that to the other side. So left hand on the shoulder and lift the right knee. Try to keep your spine really tall. Range of motion in our rib cage. Strengthening low belly, low back, while we work in the hip and the shoulder. Good. One more. Now this time you can stay with the elbow, or you can maybe see, can we cross and touch the knee? Maybe you can touch your shin or even your toe. Let's see how far we can reach there. Oh, this is core work without having to get on the floor. Nice. Now let's take that over to the other side. And either you can take your elbow and crisscross, or you can extend your hand. Where on your leg can you tap? Try not to round your back too much. Nice, a couple more now. Well done. Now just take those shoulders and roll them up, back and around. Let's take a few cat-cows to realign everything. So hands to the kneecaps. We're going to inhale, lift the heart, pull those shoulder blades back, and then exhale, curl your tail forward and curl your chin. Good. Hands slide forward and back on your thighs. So all the way back toward your hips and then around on your kneecaps. We're going to be doing some nice movement in the spine later. This is going to warm us up for that. Nice job. Now one more time, forward and back. Oh, you got it. Let's heel toe the feet back in and take this a little bit lower into our feet. So we're going to extend through our right leg and point and flex in that ankle. This is a hinge joint. It's not a ball and socket joint like the hip and the shoulder, but it does still have synovial fluid. Each time we move it like this, we release that fluid in there, which helps us with our balance. It keeps that ankle moving freely, right? So we don't shuffle and fall. Nice. So in addition to flexing and pointing, let's go ahead and take it in a circular motion. And I want you to imagine you're using your big toe on a clock and pushing the hands of the clock with your big toe. That might help you take it in more of a full circle, less like an oval shape. And then reverse it and push that dial around the opposite way. Nice, like a sundial. Just push it with the big toe. Notice how that ankle is moving. And then we're going to go to the other side. So the left leg, we're going to point and flex first. You don't have to curl your toes under, but I do want you to pull them back towards your shin. Really flex a lot, press to the heel. We're tapping into our heart pump, our calf. It's pumping blood back up to your heart, so all that blood doesn't pool down there. Circle out your ankle for mobility. Very important to keep those ankles moving every day. Find yourself seated while you're reading or knitting or watching TV. Go ahead and do some of these ankle circles throughout the day. Good. Let's take it the other way. Can you press the toe around and move that dial on the clock? Well done. Now, I want you to take both feet out and curl like you're curling marbles underneath your toes, and then release them. Flare them out wide. Curl, and then flare them wide. So it's like you're picking up socks off the floor with your toes. You ever do that when you don't want to bend over? You pick something up with your feet. That's what you're doing. Curl them, and then flare them out wide. Now what we're doing is strengthening the ligaments, the tendons, and the muscles in our feet, again, for better balance. The more the toes can flare, the stronger their feet are, the more will support us if we were to lose our balance. It helps us right ourselves. Good. A few more. Really curl and crunch and hold, hold, hold. Just crunch it, hold it. And then flare them out really wide, and then flutter them like little eyelashes. Good. All right. Now let's just take your hands to our hips and take an internal and external rotation like pigeon toe and penguin feet. We'll feel the femur head, that's your thigh bone, has a ball and socket joint in the hip that's moving around in there. So breaking up any kind of adhesions like we did in the shoulder. Now we're moving in the hip. Beautiful. Getting that fluid in there. Pigeon toe and penguin feet. A few more. We'll feel that in our quads. Nice. And then go ahead and take that and stomp it all out. Well done. So in our cat-cows, when we're moving, we're stretching and strengthening. Let's just do a few more, and I'm going to go through why we do each movement. So legs a little wider, hands to the knees. Inhale and pull up. So when you squeeze your shoulder blades and squeeze your elbows back and take a nice big back arch, you're strengthening all the muscles that line from the back of your neck to your tail. And then we'll slide our hands toward our knees, curl the tail, look at your belly button, curl your chin, and now you're stretching all that. Let's take that 2 more times. Inhale, lift up. Every time we arch, we strengthen. And then exhale, and we lengthen and stretch. 1 more. We need both, the strength and the stretch. Beautiful. Now we're going to come all the way up to a seated position with the legs wide so we can stretch in our back, side back there, quadratus lumboris, between your lowest rib and your hip. We'll take our right shoulder, crisscross it to our left knees. Now back here on the side where you feel that thick and dense, it gets very tight from sitting. This is one we want to take every day. Crisscross that shoulder and then extend through the left arm. Plant your left sit bone and open and close a fist. Open and close. Good. So your bicep is pretty close to your cheek. Oh, open and close. Reach as if there's something just out of your reach you can't quite get. And then come up through center. We'll take it to the other side. But before you do you feel a little longer on this side? Take your right shoulder, crisscross it to your left knee as if you could touch it. Plant that sit bone down and then reach and open and close. So it's like you've got juicy fruit in your neighbor's yard and you just want one little orange. You're going to reach over there. It's just outside of your reach, so you got to reach a little bit more. Take a deep breath and think about that muscle group you're stretching. Nice. Opening, close the fist lets us go a little bit deeper. Good job. And then come all the way back through center. And we're going to heel toe the feet in and stretch again. So as we interlace, we'll see, can we bring the knee in and touch the knee to the nose? If not, that's okay. We'll just tuck our chin to the chest. This is a good one to do every day. This gives us mobility of our back. It lubricates the back, keeps the spine healthy, and the muscles that line the spine. Couple more. Stretch the low back. Even more. Tuck that chin. Nice. Okay. So we took our cat-cows. That's flexion and extension. Now we're going to go side to side. The spine needs to move forward and back
side to side and twist every day. So we're going to take that flexion side to side. We'll start with our left hand, palm faces up. Right hand's going to hold on to the chair. Left arm, we're going to take it all the way up and overhead. And then as we lift up, we're going to start to lean, bending into this right elbow, reach over. Plant this sit bone and foot heavily on the left. Now reach, reach, reach. It's very good for your low back to lean sideways like this. Now we're going to add on. I want you to pull your elbow back like a bow to the diagonal. Look at your hand. And then shoot out your elbow, your bow, your arrow at a diagonal, and look down at the floor and tuck your chin. Nice. Now go ahead and pull the elbow back at a diagonal, little back arch. Look at your palm, and then shoot the arrow out a diagonal, tuck your chin and round through the upper back. Doesn't that feel nice? And then inhale, pull that back. This helps our vestibular system, but if you have vertigo, you may need to cut out that turning of your head. Good, let's take that again. Pull back, look at your palm. Now we're gonna flip the palm up toward the ceiling and turn it back toward your face. Flip the palm up, turn it back down. One more time, flip it and turn it. We're gonna shoot that arrow one more time at the diagonal. Tuck your chin, round the back. Imagine you could pull the shoulder blade right off your rib cage. Big breath in. Nice. Now let's come back through center. Notice how that feels. It just kind of releases your shoulder away from your ear. Creates circulation. Take it to the other side. Right palm faces up. We're going to take it all the way up. Start to bend into the left elbow and lean, but plant this whole right side. Foot and hip. Try to keep your hips pretty, or your shoulders pretty square. Try not to let one come forward on the other. Good. So what we're doing, you feel that in your low back? Strengthening those muscles that support the low back while we stretch. Good. One more. Breathe. Plus you're opening. Again, we talked about the muscles between the ribs. You're opening them for better breath, so that helps your respiratory. Now, pull that elbow back at a diagonal. Look at the palm, and then shoot your arrow at a diagonal. Look down at the floor. Tuck your chin. Beautiful. Pull that back. Stretches the chest. And shoot your arrow. Chest is now relaxing and the back stretches. So these are our posture muscles, pectoralis and rhomboids. Pectoralis is in the chest, rhomboids are in the back. Good. Just keep flowing. Shoot your arrow. Look down. Pull the bow back. Look up. Nice. Keep flowing between the two. If we need to take that head turn out, feel free, but this vestibular practice helps our balance. Now go ahead and pull that back, keep it back, flip the palm to the ceiling, and flip it down towards your face. Nice. Two more. Just flip it up and flip it back down. Nice. And then go ahead and shoot that back out, tuck your chin, round your back, get a good stretch. Good, and then come all the way back through center. Nice job. Now, lymphatic system. This is our immunity. It doesn't have a pump like our circulatory system does. So we have to move our armpits and our groin for the lymph to be released into our body. So I want you to hug onto your armpits like the chicken dance and kind of squeeze your armpits and lift and lower your elbows. This is going to help stimulate the lymph glands. Lymph is like little vacuum cleaners in our bodies that just clear out toxins and things that we don't want in there. It's like a flu shot, it's an immunity boost. But again, we have to move for all that to be released in there. So go ahead and get all that moving. Let's take the elbows around a little bit more, just squeeze and get into those armpits, kind of massage that area. And the best pose for this is our eagle's pose. So let's go ahead and take those arms out. We're gonna crisscross. Right arm on top, open that back out, left arm on top, squeeze your armpits. Now again, we have options. Right arm's coming up, maybe we'll just hug, or you can just place your backs of the hands together like this, or if you can, your left fingertips are gonna come into your palm. And that's okay if you can't do that. You can always, take this off so you can see me better, you can always just hug. All right, if you can, interlace your hands and the fingertips are gonna lift up toward the ceiling and lower. If you're hugging, it just looks like this. Lift and lower. Lift and lower, or here, lift and lower. We're not cat-cowing, so keep your spine really straight. Nice. So what we want is sliding those shoulder blades along the rib cage. Now, one more time. We're gonna lift the fingertips to the ceiling. Lower that down. Now we're gonna round the back. Tuck the tail. Good. Squeeze your armpit. Beautiful job. Now inhale, come all the way up. Let's cross the left leg on top of the right. And take that one more time. This time we can get into the groin. So squeeze at your inner thighs, squeeze at your armpits, press your palms together. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze out those vacuum cleaners, the lymph. And then come all the way up. Release your arms and your legs and just fly your eagle's wings. Good. See how my wrists, my elbows, and shoulders are all flowing? Great job. All right, we're going to take that to the other side. So we're going to cross the left arm over. Open that up. Right arm over, squeeze. And then the left over again. So you can hug. Hug looks like this. Or just the backs of the hands kind of touching here, or interlace. Now right away, if you like, you can tuck your right leg over and then lift the elbows and lower up. It looks like this if we're wrapping. You can always cross your ankles together instead of your knees. Just notice how that feels in the shoulders. Now we're gonna lift it up and then round. Round your back, tuck your chin, squeeze your armpits, squeeze your groin. So here's where we're gonna get all those little vacuum cleaners releasing in our body. Even if you're hugging, just hug here and squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Good, one more breath in. Exhale that out, and again, fly your eagle's wings, stomp your feet. That gets circulatory and lymph flowing. Oh, a few more here. Now, let's stretch out the front of the body, the quadriceps and the hip flexors. So if we can come to the very edge of our chair, careful with your knees and hips. We're gonna come in and stretch the quads, the whole front of the body. Nice. All right. Now, we're gonna take this lunge over to the right. So just the right leg on the chair. If you can see my lower leg, it looks like this on the floor. So if we have knee issues, you can bring your knee way up. If you can, take your foot back as far as you can. We've got just the right thigh on the chair. The right arm holds onto the chair for support, and the left knee is down toward the floor wherever it feels best for you. The further back you can take it, the better, because that's going to stretch your quad and your hip flexor. Now we're going to take what's called walking gait. So we'll start with our hand. We're going to watch our hand come back behind us. So that's that eye gaze. And then bring the hand forward. Strengthening our eye muscles, our focus and concentration. Watch the hand come back and come forward. One more time. Hand goes behind the hip and then forward. Good job. Now just take that shake of the arm, and we're going to place our hand on our hip. Hold on to the chair because this left foot is going to step forward. It's going to take a little step forward and a step back. Forward and back. Good. We don't have to turn our heads with this one. I just want us to get that work in the hip, the quad, and the core. And then we're going to put them together for brain work. So go ahead and step that back. Place your hand out in front. Now, as the left arm comes back, the foot's coming forward. And if we can, we're going to turn our head in the same direction as our hand to, again, call on the vestibular system. But if you have vertigo and you're in the midst of a little storm, then you want to take that part out. So why are we doing this? Well, it's such a nice brain challenge. We've got 3 things going. This is called brain switching. The arm, the leg, and the head turn. Beautiful. One more. Now step the foot back. The arm is going to reach forward and then come back on a diagonal like you're reaching back toward your back door neighbor and grab an orange from their yard. Open and close your fists, tuck your chin. Feel that stretch along your rhomboids there. Good. Take a breath into that. Open and close your fingers. Stretching our fascia. Open up the joints. And we're going to come all the way through center and set that up to the other side. Please be careful of your knee. Again, if you need to step your knee up closer, you can, or the knee faces down toward the floor. I'm holding on with my left hand. We're going to start with just the right arm and take that right arm behind us, but we'll watch it. When your eye follows the thumb, we're working with the vestibular system again, but we're working on our muscles of our eyes. The more we can train our eyes, the stronger our vision becomes. Good, let's take that a couple more times, forward and back. Nice. Now we're going to take the arm and give it a little wiggle shake and place our hand on our hip. Hold on to the chair, make sure you're secure. Step that foot forward and back. Forward and back. In your range of motion, that's pain-free for the hip and the knee. It's a little work for the core. The core is moving that leg forward and back. We're sitting up very tall. Nice job, forward and back. Now let's place that back there and put the two together. Remember, the eyes follow the hand. So as the foot steps forward, the arms comes back, head turns with the hand. Good, let's make sure we're breathing. Inhale and exhale. So every movement has a breath. Make sure you're not holding your breath. Inhale, hand forward, exhale, hand back. Again, if it's too much for the vestibular system to turn your head, just look straight on. Let's take a couple more. Such great work for Alzheimer's and dementia. Good. And last one here. Oh, great job. Let's come all the way back through center. You got it. Take a deep breath in. Exhale it out. Now we have a whole series. Go ahead and drink some water if you have it. For our spine. So freedom of movement in our spine really becomes restricted as we age because so much of our daily activities bring us forward. Forward, forward, forward. From putting on our socks, to eating, to reading, computer, knitting, driving, everything forward, right? So little is back and down. And then if we find ourselves forward part of the day, this action becomes limited and back bending is almost non-existent. When we limit the amount of time we go side to side and backward, the posture is going to become much more stiff. It's going to become much more permanently rounded, scooped forward. So we want to make sure that we're keeping movement, as I said earlier, forward and back, side to side, and twisting. Now we have two curves of our spine. Well, we have three, but two curves are concave. The neck, that's our cervical, and our lumbar. It is a myth that the neck should be straight and the low back should be straight. It should not be. They're concave. The thoracic spine is convex. It's important we have those curves in our spine for a reason, because the spine has to be weight bearing. And without those curves, you're not going to be able to bear weight in your spine. Also, your range of motion is going to be much more limited. So we're going to do a whole spinal series that helps to enhance these curves and is going to help your back feel amazing. Your posture will be much less stooped forward and you're going to have a lot of range of motion in your rib cage. Okay, so the first one. Now, when we do cat-cows, we really pull back and come forward. I want to minimize this. So when we do these movements, they're slight, right? So I want you to take our normal cat-cow and reduce it by a lot. Let's make sure we're in our seated mountain pose, knees over the ankles, and we're just going to rest our hands comfortably on our thighs, shoulders relax back and down. I'm actually going to turn sideways so you can see me. Now, the first one is comfortably take your head up. So we're going to lift our chin up and look up like 12 o'clock. So look up as if you're looking on a clock up at 12 o'clock as you lift your head. Chin starts parallel to the floor. Slowly and comfortably raise your head and then look up, your eyes at the top of your head like you're looking at the clock. and then come right back to neutral. Good. As you lift your head, I don't want you to stretch or strain or anything. This is kind of our before. Exhale, as you lift your head, look up at the very tip top of your eyes. Come back to center. Now, I just want you to notice how far back you can take your head without there being any stretch or any strain. Good. Now, we're going to add on just a little bitty back arch. Little bitty. It's in the upper back. So you can take the sit bones back a little bit, but this is a very minor cow. Good, let's do that 2 more times. Head lifts up, eyes look up, a little back arch between your shoulders. And 1 more. Okay, now this time we're gonna mix it up a little bit. We're gonna take our head up, but instead of looking up, I want you to look down the bridge of your nose. So here we go. Raise the head and arch your back, but look down your nose and come back to neutral. It's almost like you're cross-eyed. So lift your chin, look down the bridge of your nose, and we're taking that little back arch. Go slowly. Now this movement is going to be less than the previous movement because when our eyes look down, we're not going to move quite as wide as we did before. Relax your shoulders, your chest. Good, look down, come back to neutral, lift your head, look down, a little back arch. Let's take 2 more. Nice, everything's very subtle, very small. 1 more, back arch, chin up, look down. Beautiful, now just rest, take a deep breath in. Exhale that out. Now we're going to do the first one again. We're going to lift our chin and our head and look up like we're looking at 12 o'clock. There's a little bit of a back arch. But I want you to see, are you arching maybe a little bit more easily than we did the very first time? Can you see a little bit higher without any strain? As your chin lifts, look up like your eyes are rolling back in your head. Good. 3 more. How are you arching? Is it pretty easy? Can you see higher without strain? 1 more. Head and eyes look up. Beautiful job. Now let's just come back to center. Each movement is small and easy. This time we're going to tuck our heads down very slowly. Lower your head as if you're looking down at the floor. And now come back through center, chin parallel to the floor. But as you tuck your chin, let's round our back, small round in the back, and then come on up. Here's the breath. Exhale, tuck the chin. It's a rounded back, and then come on up. As we round the back, look down at the floor, tuck the chin, relax your neck, chest, and shoulders. Good. So do you see how this is not like our typical cat? It's a little less in the pelvis. I really want us to think upper back rounding, chin to chest. Look at your belly button. Good, and then 2 more. You know, we're just coming back to neutral after each exercise. So we round it, and then we come to neutral. Now this one we're gonna add on. We're gonna round down, but instead of looking down, we're gonna look up again. Look up at 12 o'clock. So come back to your seated mountain pose. Lower your chin to your chest, round your back, but look up like you're looking at 12. And then come back to neutral. Tuck your chin towards your chest, but instead of looking at belly button, you're looking all the way up at your eyebrows. Round your upper back, tuck your chin, look up. Now notice the movement of the head and the chest is less than the one we just did because the eyes are moving in the opposite direction, and that's okay. Good, go slowly so the muscles can relax. Let's do 3 more. Tuck the chin, look up, round the back. 2 more. Nicely done. 1 more. Good job. Now just pause. We're going to go back to the first exercise where we take the back arch and look up, head up. So head up, look up at 12, come back to neutral. Now, as we do this, notice do your eyes go up a little more freely? Can you lift your chin with less strain? How is that back arching? Can you take a little deeper back arch here than what we did at the very beginning? Do you notice maybe your head is lowering a little bit easier without so much strain? Good, let's take 2 more. Chin up, eyes up, middle and upper back arch a little more. Good, and then 1 more. You got it. Pause here, take a deep breath, you're doing great. Now this time we're gonna round the chin again. Good. Now, when we do this, instead of rounding the back, we're gonna arch the back. So that's a little different. So as you round your chin, arch your back, come back to center. Oh, that's different. Tuck your chin, arch your back, come to center. So as the chin lowers, we take the shoulder blades and kind of squeeze them together. So lower your chin, but lift your chest. This one we're not used to. We're used to lowering the chin and rounding. Now we're gonna lower the chin and back arch. Just relax your shoulders, do the best you can. Notice your pelvis now starting to rock forward and back a little bit. Exhale as you lower your chin, but back arch. You can look down, but arch in your back. Tuck your chin, look down and arch. Good, 1 more. This should start to feel really nice. I'll pause here. It should feel really nice in your thoracic spine. Back to the first one. Lift your head, look up at 12. Back to neutral. Good. Now, go ahead and add that back arch. So as we take the chin up, we take the back arch. Look up at the ceiling. Notice and feel the back arching. Notice how far up you can look without strain. Well done. Come on back to neutral position. Now, we're gonna put it together. So seated in mountain pose, we're gonna slowly lift our head, eyes look upward as we arch. And now exhale, chin to the chest, look down. As we look up, shoulder blades move closer together, lift your chest, sit tall, and then exhale, your chest flattens, shoulders are rounded. Good, inhale, lift your pelvis forward, look up, good, exhale, round through the low back. Nice, so this is more like our traditional cat-cow, but notice we're moving slowly. Body gets a little shorter as we round forward, it gets a little taller. Eye gaze, we're going to look down as we round the back, and we're going to look up as we arch, get tall. Exhale and round, look down, get small. 1 more time, lift that up. Good, exhale and round it. Nice. Now we're going to come back to face you because we're going to take this into a twist, add our twist on. So in seated mountain pose, just first notice how that back feels there. We're going to turn to our right, look over your right shoulder. Nice. Now lift your chin up, look up like we were before, and tuck your chin to your armpit, look down. Good. Just as you take this chin notch, remain turning slightly to the right. Look up with your eyes, look down with your eyes. If you need to take a rest at any time, feel free to rest. Relax your neck and shoulders as much as possible. 1 more time. Take that up. And then chin to the chest. Beautiful. Let's come back through center. Just pause, and we're going to take it to the other side. So we're going to look over our left shoulder. Turn the chin up. Look up at 12 o'clock. Chin down. Look at your shoulder. Just turning slightly to the left, noticing how that feels in the back of the neck, the side of the neck, even down along your shoulder blades. The eyes are important. Make sure you're looking up and looking down. Good, 1 more. Head up and head down. Beautiful. Come back through center, back through our seated mountain pose. Now we're going to add all that together. We're going to twist to the right, look up, round down through the center, and twist left. Looks like this. Turn to your right, lift your head and your eye gaze up. Chin comes down, look down. Now round forward. Take that all the way over to your left shoulder. Look up, chin Chin down, look down, round down towards your lap. This movement is smooth, continuous. Exhale, round through your back. Now arch, feel free to lift the right sit bone off the chair. Round it forward to the other side. You can lift your left sit bone as you arch. Really get in there and move. As you come over the left shoulder, pull the shoulder blades together. Exhale and round that. Lift and arch. Good. And round as much as you can. Pull that forward and up. One more time to each side. We're going to the right. Good. And then back around to the left. Beautiful. Just round down through center. Come up through neutral. One last time. Let's see. The very first movement we did. Measure your improvement from the first one. Chin up, look up, back arch. Chin parallel. When you look up, notice how much farther you can see without strain. Feel your entire spine bending easily. Feel the difference? Nice. 2 more. And 1 more. Oh, great job. Let's come back through center and rest. And I want you to notice in your seated mountain pose, do you have better weight distribution on each sit bones? Do you feel a taller posture? Do you feel your natural curves? Good, and hopefully those curves are more enhanced and restored. Well done, everybody. We're gonna do some hand motions now. So we're gonna come out of the spine and move in the hands. First, we're just gonna open and close fingers. So take those fingers nice and wide and then take a tight grip. You've got it. Okay, so the first one we're going to do is roll around with the wrist, and almost like you're playing the piano. So I'm fluttering through each finger, like you're playing scales. Each finger presses down, thumb, and now reverse that, go the other way. You get your elbows and wrists going, rotate through, get that fluid flowing. If you hear click, click, and pop, pop, odds are you're a little dehydrated. That just means you need to do this more and drink water. That will help lubricate and get rid of that little dehydration. Good. Now we're going to turn the knob. So with your right hand, just turn that doorknob. It's a tricky knob, one of those that's hard to turn. And then close it. Go the other way. Turn that doorknob. Nice. And go into the left hand. I always think about those brass doorknobs, you know, in old houses that are kind of hard to turn. So go ahead and turn that. Well done. Now we're going to get that mayonnaise jar, you know, the big ones, Helmays or Dukes, whichever you prefer. And how tight that is, maybe somebody put it in the refrigerator first before you got a chance. Oh, that's extra hard. Now close it back up. This rotation, this lateral rotation of the wrist can be challenging. Now take your jar, flip it, and go to the other hand. This one's hard. Yeah, sometimes it's challenging, but we want to get into the forearm extenders. Now close that back up. So nice angle of the wrist, also strengthening our forearm bones. Nice. Now another one that's hard is turning a key. So just imagine you have a little key and you're going to turn it. Remember how we used to turn on our cars before remotes and push buttons? Or like you're turning in a door. Turn the key and then turn it the other way. Pinch now. Pinch your fingers a lot. That helps strengthen your fingers for arthritis in your wrist. And then the other hand, just turn, pinch the key and turn it. Good. And then pinch and turn. All right, now hairspray. Isn't that a hard one sometimes? So your index finger, you're gonna go all the way around your head. Get the back of your hair. Remember beehives? My mother had one of those. All the way around your shoulders, your index finger. And then the other hand, men wear hairspray. I think my dad did back in the 70s. Go around the other way, pump, pump, pump. Good job. Now, the hard one is clasping a necklace, isn't it? Putting our necklaces on. Oh, there you go. Now, a really hard one is zippering. So we're going to take one arm underneath and zipper up our zipper. So pull and zipper up. Good. Can we take that to the other side? Take that bottom arm underneath. Oh, that's hard, isn't it? And we're going to zipper, zipper, so that we can have that range of motion in our shoulders. Nice. And then one more, both arms up and just pat yourself on the back. Well done. That's nice little shoulder work. Go ahead and shake out your arms and your legs. Roll your shoulders up, back, and around. Nice. Now we're going to come up to stand. I have a little series here. Standing. I'm going to fix my computer to see me better. All right, so this is for balance. We're going to have our chair. We're going to have our left foot out at about, I'm going to take my chair away, but just so you can see me. You can have your chair there for support. I want you to be able to see my feet. Yes. All right, so we're going to have our left leg out and our right leg's at a little comfortable angle. And see how I've got my toes off the floor? I'm going to pull my hands back. And then I'm going to bend my knee like I'm saying, stop. Good. Now I turn my palms up and I pull that in and bend my knee. Bend this back knee, straighten the front leg. Press. Now can you put a little more weight on that front foot and pull back? So if you had your chair in front of you, you could press with one hand and pull back, right? I just moved my chair so you could see my body. If you can, use both hands, bend into that front knee, come onto the back toe, and then pull the ball of the foot up. Back toe press, and then pull up. Good, so this is push and pull, and the idea is to transfer weight into the left leg, and then the right leg. Good, one more. Press it, and pull. Now pull the ball of the foot back. This time we're going to go around the earth. So palms face down. Let's go back away from us and around the earth. And then take the foot off the floor, the ball of the foot off. So we're going to keep our hands about rib cage height. Good. Between your shoulders and your belly button. You're the earth circling around or bend. So ball the foot down and then lift it up. So it's kind of like you're putting your foot on the gas pedal and then pulling it off. Straighten the back leg and then bend it. Bend it here. Yes. You can have a hand on your chair. Now we're going to pause and go the other way. So we're reversing the path of the earth. So this is circle around the earth. So here we go. Circle it out. Now how far can you reach? This is challenging our balance, isn't it? Range of motion. Good. Nice. Now we're going to pause here. This time we're going to do sunrise and sunset. So as we lean forward, we're going to take the sun up, and then we're going to bend the knee and sunset. So we'll lift up and around. Here's the breath. Inhale up, exhale lower. Good job. The whole time we can have a hand on the chair for balance. You can do this with one or two arms. So if one shoulder doesn't like this so much, you can keep it quiet. Good. Now pause that and let's reverse. So if we have one shoulder that's not feeling like it wants to go the circle, it can hang out on your hip. Good. One more time around. Well done. Now we're going to take that to the other side. So we're just going to switch our feet. So the right leg's in front and the left leg's behind. Let's pull the toes off the floor, shift our weight back here, a little bend in that knee, and then we're going to come forward onto this big toe here, and then pull it back. So the front knee bends, the back leg straightens, front leg straightens, back knee is bent. We don't want to pull back with a lock knee here. Bend that knee, press away and pull in. Sometimes I like to think, press out fear, pull in courage. Press out worry, pull in peacefulness, yeah? So just that negative thinking that might come into your mind, the worrisome thoughts, press those out and pull in strength and positivity, those feel-good thoughts. Good. Now let's change that to circle the earth. So we're going to press that out away from us and back and around. And that little weight change is challenging the balance. Your core is working, the abdominals are working to keep you upright along with the legs. Good job. Let's inhale the arms out away from us. Exhale them back in. Keep flowing the opposite direction now. Keep flowing that weight to the front foot and to the back foot. Great balance challenge here. Good job. much as you can, take the center of weight out away from you. You're practicing safely. And again, you can have a hand on the chair. One more time around, sunrise, sunset. So the ball of the foot's off the floor, sunrise, bend the knee in the front, and then in the back. Up and around. Beautiful work. How much you take your arms is how comfortable your shoulders are. So if you want to make your shoulders not have to work as much because they don't feel good going in a big circle, make it smaller. You adapt to what feels best for you. Now we're going to pause with the ball of the foot off the floor and reverse our sunrise, sunset. Good. Lift up. Back and around. Nice. You might feel your heart rate's up a little bit. That's okay. That just means your quadricep muscles are working. They need more oxygen and blood. One more. Ooh, good job. Let's come all the way back. Whoops, to our chair. If you do have a strap handy, you can grab it. If you don't, in future classes, if you have a towel or something from a bathrobe, a belt, an old tie, anything like that would work. But if you don't, just interlace your hands around your hamstring like I'm doing, like this. All right, that will work too. If you can and you have something to strap on, we're going to go ahead and place the strap here or just hold on underneath your leg. Good, so we'll take our legs straight out, really flex through the foot, relax your shoulders back and down. Nice. Yeah, if you have maybe a sheet, a blanket, anything that's just long enough that you can hold on to on either side. And then we'll take both ends of whatever you have into the left hand, open that up so we get into the inner thigh. Now the right arm is going to come back behind you. You'll look over your shoulder again to stretch in the chest, inner thigh, keep flexing the left foot, sit tall. Now we're going to cross the midline. This is going to help our hip mobility. Let the other arm take the strap. So right hand has a strap and the left shoulder opens. This is a big stretch for this IT band. It's tight. It's meant to be tight because it attaches your upper hip to your knee. And if that were loose, you would not want that. So it's tight for a purpose, but we want to just open it up for circulation. Good. Now, if we can, we're going to take our ankle on top of the knee. If we can't, we'll do ankle on top of ankle. This stretches our hip. We'll flex this top foot, sit tall and hip hinge forward without tucking your chin and without rounding your back. Good. Just relax your shoulders down your back. If we want a little more, you can drape your arms here, a little extra weight, or just gentle, what we call thinker's pose. Never taking our hands and forcing that open because that's traumatic for your muscles. We're opening the hip and the piriformis that it lives in there with your glutes, and this helps free up space for sciatica. Good. Another breath or two. That should feel really nice. If it's burning and painful, back out. Now we're going to take our arms into cactus and take 3 kicks. So 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful job. We'll take this strap now to the other side, but notice the space you created, the blood flow, the release of your muscles. Good. So we're here, or if we don't have a strap, you're just simply holding on underneath like that. Try not to round your back. Always just want that tall posture, shoulders back and down. Really flex through the foot. That's going to stretch your Achilles and your calf. Nice. Now take the strap into the right hand so the left arm can open. Good. I'm moving around here so you can see all the angles. Nice. And we'll cross the body. Take the right arm across. And again, this is tight. It's meant to be. It's very thick, dense, connective tissue. If it were loose, you'd be flopping around all over the place. So we need that tight, but we want to open up for blood flow. Good. Just get a little bit of relaxation in the muscle group. But there is connective tissue in there that is not meant to be freed up. So it's just always going to be tight. Doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with you. That's a good thing, actually. Remember, arms can dangle or gentle pressure. Gentle. Just enough where we feel dull, achy resistance, not too much, not too little. Good, and then let's take our cowboy surrender and 3 kicks. That strengthens our quads. Good, and one more. Beautiful job, and then we'll just sit with our hands on our thighs and take a deep breath in. Exhale back out. So I'm hoping that you feel nice and relaxed in your neck and your upper back, and you feel more mobility in your spine. Head to toe, just feeling a little better today. Thanks so much for joining me. I'll be back again next Monday at 12:30. Hope you have a fabulous day. Let's take our arms out, up and overhead. Breathe in. Exhale, let go of any worries. Stay safe, everybody, until we meet again. Namaste. Hope you have a fabulous day and a wonderful week. Thanks for joining me.